we do business advisory in a number of different ways, but two of the most common forms, if we were to 80/20 it, would be 90-day business planning, where people are working with us over a 90-day window. And
That's
it's basically
proved to be, before we get to the nuts and bolts, I can't believe, well, no, I can actually, just how popular that is because it's so short and sharp and just that instant gratification, and it's so much low-hanging fruit compared to 12-month option. But
and we do 12, so we can take one person through it every month, and then you basically have an initial session, then you have one in 6 weeks, and then one at the end of the 90 days. And if they're not happy at the end of the 90 days, we keep working together. And that very, very seldom happens. So we do 12 of those in a year. And basically the point is to give the business owner some instant clarity of like, here's what we need to do next. And it might not be 90 days and everything's fixed. It might be, okay, we need to go on a journey with this, but this is literally the roadmap that we're going to create together, and let's tear into it and let's do it at pace. And do not come back here in 6 weeks and not have done anything. Like, don't waste these other people that would happily take the spot.
It's very much like a diagnose and like triage. Here's the immediate things that you need to go away, and like you go and do this over 90 days and just do not focus on anything else as a distraction. And then if you do this and do it consistently, it will flow through and show up in your numbers.
Yeah, and a little bit of as well is basically like what we do is we say, if we were to run your business, here's what we would do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're proven wrong, but seldom, and often it's just an objective view. Or even I had a business owner, they're doing their pre-work for their 6-week check-in, and they're like, to be honest, mate, it's actually just been good to pay the money to force me to do the things that I know that I need to do, but to sit down together and put them all down and then sense check them and go, okay, here's the order and priority we're going to do them in, has been great to basically get me to go, right, I'm back at the start of the sprint line and I've actually, like, the gun's gone, I've got to run. I can't just stand here waiting for the race to start. So those are a lot of fun for us because we see people get results really quickly. Now, the other part is more in-depth, and it's probably more structured and more strategic and more slow burn, but we're like moving a business. If we're not moving the Titanic, but we're kind of redirecting it to where it needs to go, and then we slowly start rowing in the right direction, and then 12 months, 24 months later, the thing's turned into a jet boat, and you're kind of building it as you go. So business owners will do pre-work, and sometimes they might have multi-director or multi-shareholders, and they'll do it individually. We'll review it all, and then we sit down for a half a day, 4 to 5 hours, and build out a business plan for the next 12 months. And then from there, we set actions for the next 90 days, and then we catch up quarterly after that. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and at the end of quarter 4, we review the entire 12 months. And the same thing, we have an expectation that if you're going to spend that money and you're going to take our time and you're going to use your time, the work needs to be done.
Yep.
And so we're reviewing it each quarter, okay, what was done? And then if it wasn't, why not? And sometimes it's like, okay, we've had time to think about this. We don't think we need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But what it often does is it sort of forces a business owner to take action on the decisions that they know deep down they need to be doing. It might be hiring, it could be firing, it could be, launching into a new product or service, or it could be culling one of those, or it could be, going into another region. Whatever it is, we're unpacking it as part of that initial half day to be like, well, you sat here, you said this is where you want to get to, and we went into 1 year and 5 year goals. Now we needed to do the work to make sure that we can get there.
It's surprising going through those sessions just how many business owners actually know what it is they need to do. And I think one of the key outcomes that comes out of it is the business owners got confidence that what they're thinking about is now backed up by science, data, and it's been soundboarded through us. And we both bring like pretty different perspectives when we come to these sessions with clients. And I think that's what they like. To then for the business owner to go, shit, okay, that idea or this thinking that I've got isn't actually dumb after all. It's backed up and it's okay. And if I approach it in a structured way and go away and do A, B, and C, and then go and keep going through and ultimately get to X, Y, Z, I'll achieve what it is I ultimately wanted to achieve with the business, which, a lot of people haven't even thought about, but we give them the space to be able to go, what is it that you want from this business? I think so many people haven't just sat down and contemplated it. So it's quite a detailed process to go through, really eye-opening, and it's getting a business owner to open up their mind and us to get a window into their thinking and their lives and ultimately what they want to achieve. And it's an exciting journey to go on.
Yeah, and we obviously then introduce these people to people in our networks that we know are going to help them, and basically even ideal clients and people that we go, okay, they're going to speed your journey up, they're going to make your boat go faster. Here you go. We'll do the intro, get you going, and there's trust there, and sometimes that's a lot of what they can get out of it through the process as well. And what I often enjoy is when they do the pre-work, we've bolted on that final question, asking them about what their limiting beliefs are.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we won't reveal what the question is because then people, if they ever go through the 90-day or the 12-month process with us, but it's basically the last thing. So it's like you've filled out all the information and now you still need to tell us, okay, what's going on in here that you keep telling yourself that could be holding you back? And sometimes that can be the unlock. Once we pack into that and it's like, okay, we're not qualified to do it, you might need to go and speak to a counsellor. Or it could just be, we're challenging, okay, what data do you have to suggest that that's accurate?
Yes.
Talk me through it. Well, no, you don't have any, and we can have a 15, 30-minute conversation on that. And then what we get to do in those next sessions is like, we're not allowed to talk about that anymore because it's not real. You could see in session 1 that wasn't real. So we can't use that as a barrier to what we want to achieve. Because it's not real.
Yep.
And I think that's been quite fun for us to dive into some of those conversations with clients as well. Like when we're studying to be CAs and at uni and whatnot, you don't really learn that you're going to have to deal with that shit.
No.
But unless you do, then you kind of go, you can look at everything that's going on in business, but if you can't unpack like what's going on for somebody, there's a massive chapter there that you're basically, just ignoring, going, okay, well, hopefully they sort that out over there on their own. But sometimes people need a bit of a helping hand to get closer to it.
And my mind's immediately jumped to that if people are listening to this and they're going, well, that's great that you guys do all of this, but how are you qualified to do it? And I think the one thing that Luke and I perceive about ourselves is, we're accountants, but we look at ourselves as business owners. So before we started Next Advisory, we started schoolrebates.co.nz, and that was an idea that Luke came up with, chatting to a dude on an airplane at the abridged version, but ultimately came back and we built a website and we created an online platform for parents to be able to claim back the donation credit on their school donations that they made. And the lessons that we got out of that were absolutely priceless. We got spanked around by the market, something chronic.
Yeah.
And we, got some huge lessons, grew up really quickly, ultimately had some meetings with the IRD, and the business just ran its course. We don't look at it that the business was either successful or a failure. I think if we were to look at it, it was successful, even though financially you might look at it and go, nah, it wasn't as financial as what we originally thought it was going to be. But the lessons that it gave us are priceless. And then that then led us on to creating Next Advisory. And I think what's different about Next Advisory to potentially other accounting firms is we started in September 2017.
17?
17?
Yeah.
17?
Anyway. Next Advisory?
Yeah.
You think in 2007, the GFC almost?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Jeez, the old lid. 2017, and we started with no clients.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. And we had to go out there and sell ourselves to the world. And we learned really quickly from our stuff from schoolrebates.co.nz about what it takes to engage with a prospective customer and the sales process and how can we speed that up, and then all the things that can happen through sales to ultimately getting a conversion and then doing that repetitively to what we've got 7.5 years later.
Yeah, now we're in this stage where we say no to more work than we say yes to.
Yeah.
Or we're very deliberate about the type of work that we take on and what we market to.
People might hear that and they might think, oh, no, that's cocky and arrogant. It was just like, no, we've done a business plan. Like everything that we talk about, we do ourselves. Like we put into our business, and we're very clear about the types of clients that we want to work with. And if somebody comes to us and, for example, they're property-based, it's an immediate no. Like, we don't care if you're the biggest developer or a medium-sized developer and you really want to work with us. Like, property is not our jam. That's not us saying we don't like the property market, as much as you probably think we probably say that if you've listened to the podcast long enough. But it's an area of accounting and tax that we just don't understand and don't get fulfillment out of.
No.
Like, we're really clear about what our jam is and where we get fulfillment from the type of work that we do. And that comes from a particular type of client. So we meet with all of these people or business owners and go, no, yes, there we go. We know that that's going to be something that we can help them. It's going to be fulfilling work for us. It's win-win.